Good evening. Rich, can you hear me? We've had dramas with this microphone previously, haven't we?
Loud and clear.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Well, welcome to Salford Towers, everybody.
No green room, so you couldn't check if it was working.
I know.
I could have been left on my own holding the fort, Matt. Do you remember when we had the fixtures? Do you remember a couple of seasons back when we done a fixtures release show, and I think Martin's internet went down, and for about 20 minutes I had to waffle.
I do remember that. Yeah. I think you did a sterling job that time.
Yeah, well, I'm good at waffling.
Welcome to Salford Towers, everybody. I don't know what it's like with you are, Rich, and everyone tuning in. It's reflecting on mood. It's raining here.
Pissing down
reflecting how we felt. Yeah, reflecting how we felt after yesterday at Cheltenham. But listen, Rich, games are coming thick and fast, aren't they? This time next week, we'll only have 4 games.
Yeah,
4 games left.
It was a bit deflating, if I'm honest. 80 minutes. If you rung me at 80 minutes and checked in on my mood, it was up here. You rung me about 15 minutes later, but it's a draw. We haven't lost. So
you did say a draw, didn't you? You did say a draw.
I was chatting to Colin earlier, and he said you said 2-1. But I did say 2-1, but I was letting my head rule my heart because I did say a draw. So I wanted to try and be positive, but I'm going to predict 2 wins in the next 2 home games. By the way.
Well, I think, we've got, you look at this 3-game spread we've had. Cheltenham, you take a point. And then if you get the 2 wins that you would expect against Charlton and Port Vale, you've got nothing to play for. You've taken 7 points from 3 games, and that's above your 2-point average that you would want as you head towards the end of the season. Hopefully hit around 93 points is what everyone's kind of saying. I mean, a few people, I don't know if you've seen a Discord today, Rich, but a few people have been saying we might need 96, 97. I don't see that.
I did say 96 initially. I've got us finish on 98. I think we're going to win 5 and draw 1. I don't think we'll lose. Like Colin says in the chat, we have only lost 4 games all season, Matt, and it's
a great record, to be fair. Yeah,
it is. I know we've drawn 13 games, but we have probably drawn too many, and that's probably why we are 3rd as we sit tonight. But if you look at Sheffield Wednesday's fixtures, the next 2, and you look at Plymouth's, they've got 2 tough away games, both of them. So come next Tuesday night, about 9:45, I think we'll be sitting inside the top 2 because I can't see both of them winning both of them games. I might be wrong, but I don't think I will be.
It's a big ask as you go to the edge of the season, isn't it? I mean, look, on paper, you go, on paper, we said Plymouth will comfortably see off Lincoln. The reality was somewhat different. I mean, I was shocked by that, 2-0.
Especially if you look at what Lincoln have done, Matt. Come to Portman Road, turned us over.
Yeah.
Went to Hillsborough, got a 1-1 draw. They've gone to Home Park, and they've turned them over. So they've took 7 points from the top 3 in this league. They're probably frustrated, their fans, Lincoln fans, probably thinking, how come we can go to these places? But we've drawn, I don't know how many games Lincoln have drawn. They've drawn so many games this season, but they did do us a massive favour yesterday.
Well, it's Mark Kennedy, innit? Old McCarthy's protege.
Yeah.
He's learned from the best. Shithousing, probably. And you come away with a victory. But yeah, they've done that's our only home defeat all season, isn't it? In the league, certainly. It was against them. But they've certainly done us a favour. And of course, Sheffield Wednesday, I think, go Burton next. Am I right in thinking that?
Burton on Saturday, and then they go to Bristol Rovers on Tuesday. And Plymouth have got Exeter. Plymouth have got Exeter Saturday.
Yeah.
And guess who's reffing? Guess who's reffing the game?
That geezer from the yesterday.
No, Mr. Drysdale, Alan Judge's friend.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got it, hasn't
he? Then they go to Shrewsbury next Tuesday, Matt. So, look, Shrewsbury, they've dropped off a little bit the last few years. They're 2 tough games for both of them teams. So, fingers crossed.
Evening, Lee Brown. Evening, Crunchy Matt. Would be good to meet up before the game on Saturday. I'll try and be there. As we said, no train, so I'm gonna have to drive. So I might be there early. Whether or not we're going to do a pre-match show, I don't know. Depends what Martin's got going on. He's on his holidays at the moment. He's probably sitting in a bar somewhere, Rich, just pressing the buttons while we're chatting.
Did you get the message? We've got to be done by 9:30.
We've got. I didn't get that message.
Why are we going to be done by 9:30? We're not going to have it an hour. Come on. We'll probably be talking, and Martin will hit the outro button, and we'll just
it'll just be gone.
Disappear into the night sky.
You've had your 60 minutes. You're gone. But look, Burton beat Barnsley not so long ago, did they? What, a week ago? 10 days ago? Yeah. I mean, that's. Well, why not? You've got a lump on Gassam Hadmi, the guy who've been slagging all season to score the winner.
Is he playing for them? He hasn't scored a goal.
He come on yesterday.
Hopefully he might score on Saturday. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think he come on. I think he come on yesterday. He's been on the bench. I don't know who's picking up his wages. I mean, it's a lot of wages to be, I think Ipswich are probably paying his wages to give him the experience back
we'll
there.
pay
But
the majority of that, I'd thought, so he can play some football.
Well, tell us about your trip to Cheltenham yesterday. So, how long did it take? And it was raining as well, wasn't it? That was probably an omen.
About 2:45 to get down there. It was absolutely hammering down on the way.
Wooden Road. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, it's the completely Suzuki Stadium now. It's called.
I like their commitment to transport around the stadium. I noted that the completely Suzuki Stadium down the home end is the completely Yamaha signage, and in the main stand is called HGV Drivers UK stand.
Look, fair play to Cheltenham. We have. They are the only team in League One since we've been here that we've not beaten.
Oh, four games we've not been able to beat them.
4 times we played this lot.
What is it about them?
I don't know. Look, yesterday it was. I don't want to look. We're not making excuses. The conditions were really tough, Matt. It was really, really windy.
It was really windy, wasn't it? Yeah.
The pitch might look good. I think they've left it a bit longer. Now, Martin bemoans that Town are always putting the sprinklers on at Pullman Road. Now I see why. Kieran wants to get that ball, slicking it about. And yesterday, it was really slow. The pitch was slow. They obviously turned us around first half because of the wind. And obviously, we'll come on to the goal that they scored. That had a lot to do with the conditions. But look, it was a tough game. And I think that will probably be our toughest game that we had in the running, Matt, because we should have won the game. After we go 1-0 up and we've huffed and puffed them, I didn't think we played that well. We were a little bit leggy, We played on Friday. But you get ahead and you probably think, just win that game. But when you're 1-0, everyone knows that you're always susceptible, weren't you? Just a mistake. And as it was a real shame, wasn't it, that the clean sheet run had to come to an end like that.
Nothing ever lasts forever, Rich.
No.
It had to come to an end. It was a shame. Well, let's start with the first half then. I thought as soon as we kicked off, and probably the wind didn't help, but I thought we looked tired. And I think probably the run of 8 wins on the spin, the 9 clean sheets, the way we've played, the energy we've created, the counter-attacking football, and then you throw the wind into the conditions of all of that as well. And I think it probably was maybe one game too many. We probably could have done with the rest period there. But I mean, look, that is it though, isn't it? That's Easter football. Well, you get the same.
As my header says there, the needle mover. We need to. Do you remember when David Beckham was injured that time and Yuri Geller, you had his foot was on the front of the sun, wasn't it? We all had to place our hands on it. I tell you, I put a tweet out last night, and I think, right, Broadhead is the key for us to get in the top 2. If he's fit for the remaining 6 games, I think we get in the top 2, Matt. If he's not fit and he misses some games, I think we personally might struggle because the drop off yesterday, and we're probably going to look. Harness, it seems, he's now the scapegoat on the socials. It was Ladapo. It's always somebody. Look, he didn't have the best game. No one's saying that he did, but I don't think he's probably been the same since his injury. He's come back and he's
come back very quick.
Pardon?
He come back very quick, didn't he? Because we thought he was going to be out for months, didn't we?
And now he's second choice. He plays a few minutes here, a few minutes there. He does give the ball away a lot. But listen, he's everything that the Pompey fans said he was. He's inconsistent. And that's probably why he's played his career, Matt, in League One. He's a good League One player.
I agree.
He can score some goals, but he's another player. If we actually look, hopefully we get out of this league, I don't think he comes on the journey with us. I don't think he'd be good enough for the Championship. But yesterday, I thought he struggled. He had a great chance, didn't he? Our end. Shanked it wide.
Did you feel? I mean, look, watching it in the iPhone, I was already up celebrating. You behind the goal there. Did you think that was in the net?
We were right in line with the post where he's shooting, and it was it was a back heel, put him in, took a touch. He's just shanked it wide, which can happen. No one does it on purpose. No one makes a mistake on purpose. But it was a shame because we did have 1 or 2 chances in the first half. I know we had a goal disallowed. Matt Stannard was obviously sitting on the side. He doesn't think it was offside. Leif Davis think they've given offside there.
That looked a good run. But like I say, you've got to be in line, haven't you? But that looked a good run. It wasn't Hurston in the middle. They actually gave it.
No, Hurst was not offside. It wasn't Hurst who was offside.
Oh, right, okay.
But
Okay. I mean, it's funny how things change with harness. Because, like I used to say on this show, all I want to see is harness, Ladapo, Chaplin, and now we're sitting here going, all we want to see is
yeah,
Chaplin, Hurst, and
I think
Broadhead.
he scored. I think they said it was he scored 6 in his first 14 games, and now he's got 1 in 22. So
yeah.
confidence. Football's a confidence game. It showed
It is.
with the team, you know, on that run that we were on when we had 4 wins in 15, and now we're absolutely flying. I know we got a draw yesterday, and we're all disappointed, but the run was going to come to an end somewhere, and we weren't going to win every single game. I know certain people, Colin was saying, we're going to win every game. Highly unlikely that this stage of the season that any of the 3 teams will win all their games now, because they can all play. But for me now, it's in the head as well, Matt. It's a mental thing. Who can handle that pressure? Because every game now, it's a pressure cooker. You see on Friday when we were at the Wickham game, after 20 minutes, a few little whispers in the crowd because you're getting a bit nervous because you've got more to lose, haven't we now, with the position that we've got ourselves in?
A few comments here. Zorark says harness score record very Bon-esque. Agreed. But we always thought it was a little bit in and out, didn't we, Rich? You only have to look at that Burton game where he actually scores the winning goal, doesn't he? The 1-0 when you scouted.
Great strike. Great strike.
He had hardly been in the game up to that. Lee, like Bayless, that game should have been put to bed before half time. Yeah, maybe. We'll come on to this.
But then saying that, they had a couple, 1 or 2 chances up the other end, didn't they? First half, Cheltenham.
Well, if you're to believe Wade Elliott, we didn't create anything and they should have won. I mean, what has he been drinking post-match?
Well, I know these managers, they always see it through their sort of view of the game. But when I listened to that, I thought, look, you had a couple of opportunities first half. Yeah, I get that. But second half, they didn't threaten. They didn't hardly go near our goal. It was just get the ball, lump it forward, hope for something in the conditions. That's how they scored.
Yeah, Matt Stenhouse says we had 23 shots today at 7. Ashley's quite right. They did have one cleared off the line by Davis. I think Walter made a very good save, didn't he? There was a glancing header, I think, between players, and he made the save there. But yeah, it did. I mean, like you say, the conditions were difficult. We've got one.
Dominic, yes, I do remember. I do remember Eileen Drury. We remember that. Yes,
Glenn Hoddle's go-to. Yeah, Glenn Hoddle's go-to. Very weird, that wasn't it?
Yes.
And of course, Burns had a good chance, didn't he? Burns had a good chance.
I think that was just on half time. That come from a long throw, and I think that's one of them, Matt. If anywhere else he scores, he just hits the goalkeeper, doesn't he?
Ian Davis says, "Where's Matt's umpires Panama?"
Well, actually, I'm glad Ian's brought this up because I spoke to my mum today.
Oh yeah.
She blames you.
Oh no.
For us not getting a result yesterday because when we done the pod on Saturday, you were not wearing the hat.
No, I wasn't. No, you're quite right. Well, it's just my Sunday look, you see. The man from Del Monte, my Sunday driver.
You might have maybe cursed it a little bit.
It's my fault. It's my fault. I wanted McKenna out and I haven't wore the hat. David Bergin, big shout out, David. See you at PR against Exeter. Another €5 in the bin.
He's lucky that he's got a ticket because literally, I see they've released, Blocky released for Charlton today for the game on Saturday. Yeah. There's limited tickets, I think, for Port Vale on Tuesday night. I think Exeter sold out. I think a lot of it, there'll probably be some more tickets for Exeter because obviously they've opened Blocky for the game on Saturday, which is where the visitors are. So obviously, I don't think Exeter, Matt, are going to bring 2,000, are they really? I'll be pretty surprised on
no.
last
I don't even know what their home attendance is.
I think there'll be some more tickets there. I think we sold over 4,500 for Barnsley. I've got some stats. Cole Fuller today in the East Anglian. So we've broken the overall attendances with 7 games to go from last season. So 540,033 Town fans have followed us home and away. So average home attendance is 24,929. Last season was just over 21,000.
Wow.
Average away attendance 2,033. Last season was just under 1,800. So it's brilliant, Matt, at the minute. You know, we're going to Barnsley in a couple of weeks on a Tuesday night. We're going to be taking over 5,000. There's 9
coaches going. Yeah.
It's incredible support.
It is incredible. It's incredible. I mean, look, sometimes with clubs, like they get relegated and you see them go down and you just wonder whether or not it'll ever be the same for them again. But Ipswich Town fans have just backed the club completely, haven't they, over the spell that we've been down here?
Yeah.
I mean, Big shout out Kev Gates, who comes and sees us at the statue. I think he's done more away games than you, Rich. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I think Kev goes. I'm not sure when, but they will be releasing details for the Fleetwood game very soon. I was talking to Wes's dad yesterday, David. He reckons he knows some people at Fleetwood. He reckons they'll give us, I think normally about just over 1,000. He reckons we'll get 1,700 there because they'll give us about half of the main stand, which they should, these teams, because you think a club like Fleetwood. But you think a club like Fleetwood, Matt, look, they don't get massive home. It's a chance for them to make a little bit more money. And that's what money makes the world go round, And a team like Fleetwood, if they can get a few extra grand coming through the turnstiles, it's going to help them out. So
we said on Saturday show, it's a real shame we're not going somewhere like MK Dons on the last day, where you can have you could probably have half the stadium.
Yeah, it is what it is, mate. It is what it is. But
sod's law, it's one of the last ones. We're talking to the fans. What was the mood at half time then? Because we've gone in at 0-0 and we've missed a couple of good chances. What were people nervous? Were people still confident?
I was still pretty confident at half time. I thought second half, because obviously we were kicking against the wind. Yeah. First half, and I thought second half, there he was warming up, Kyle Edwards. He brought him on. I thought he did make a lot of difference, man. I'm not saying he's up to Broadhead qualities, but I think he's good with the ball and in close control. He can run.
It scared him. They didn't like him running at him.
Yeah, he played well at Cheltenham last year. Remember the game? Early season. They couldn't cope with it.
Pink boots, like those.
Yeah, they've all got coloured boots now, haven't they? Like I think it was Harry Clark. Was he wearing his pink ones yesterday?
Yeah, pink as well. Yeah, I thought Edwards looked really good. Again, he's like Harness, isn't he? He blows hot and cold as well. Yeah. But they obviously did not like the pace that he offered, and he had a very good chance, didn't he? Second half, curled it just wide.
But this is the thing now with the squad that we've got. If you come in and you don't take your chance, you're probably not going to get another one. I'll be surprised if Harness starts another game this season, Matt, in the remaining 6 now, because he's had his chance and he didn't take it.
It's funny because obviously he got pulled at half time. Whether or not that was tactical, whether or not that was because they didn't think he was playing very well, McKenna was non-committal on that. But he did say he thought the front 4, he called them on BBC Suffolk, he thought played well, and he included Harness in that. And a lot of the guys on Discord felt that he was probably just doing Harness a bit of a favour there. He always talks of the group. Yeah. Doesn't separate anyone out. You don't want to dig anyone out on the radio, but he was disappointing. And Edwards, like we say, he had a much more better impact, didn't he, on that left side, and unlucky not to score. But eventually the goal did come, didn't it? From the Harry Clark long throw. Well, out of nothing really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. When did we last score from a long throw? I'd like to know when we did, because do you remember Jonas Knudsen? Yes. He always had a throw. It wasn't like the biggest long throw I've ever seen. We'd lob a few in the box, but we never ever done anything. But
it had a lot of height on it, didn't it? But
not quite those levels, right? It looped. It didn't go very far. Whereas Clark's is quite a low trajectory as it comes in.
Yeah.
If you're I do agree with Wade Elliott. You're going to be frustrated there, Matt, to give a goal away like that. When I do agree with him a little bit that we didn't really open them up with the football that we can play. I know we had a couple of chances first half, but to give a set piece goal away like that has got to be a little bit frustrating for him and for their team, because it's just a long throw and Chaplin siphoned it in from about 5 yards. And then we thought, we got that goal. Everyone knows that Plymouth are losing, and then all the songs start, we're top of it. And you're thinking,
we were.
We got 20 odd minutes to go, and they weren't really threatening, were they? Let's be honest.
I went into this weird little dimension where I had SofaScore open on my phone while I'm watching the game, and suddenly on the league table, the live league table, we went top. But underneath that, it said the game was still 0-0. I thought, so I'm looking at it like this going, what the hell? Someone's pressed the wrong button. And then the goal went in. Yeah. And I can only presume from the celebration, the Chaplin family are expecting the pitter patter of tiny feet soon.
Another top shagger in the group. I sent a shout out to a guy called Sam yesterday, right?
This was your mate, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he comes from Pembrokeshire in Wales, and he didn't have a ticket, and he messaged me the other week, and I got him one. Weren't many left, and I met him in the pub yesterday. Great lad, but
had a few beers.
I'll come on to that, but he'd obviously got there. He said my missus doesn't. She's Welsh and she's into rugby. Doesn't understand. Doesn't really get the football. His dad's a Sheffield Wednesday fan, but he's got a season ticket at Portman Road because he lives in Ipswich. So I was talking to him and he said, I've got the train here, but my train home's cancelled. So I don't know how I'm getting home. But then he went off to another pub and met his mates. So we were in the ground standing there and I see him down the front. He waved at me. So he's come up and his seat's literally over in the corner. And he says, I'll see you. I'll come and stand with us. And he says to Archie, I was going to show you what it's all like. He had a few. But it was great. That he was such, I'll tell you what, you meet these people at football. I've never met him in my life. But such a friendly guy. We had a great time. And when we scored, it was like everyone's hugging each other. You hug people you don't know, Matt, and you're thinking,
oh, yeah.
We're on our way. We're on our way now.
I love that. Lee Brown's put nice pies at the ground. Did you have one of these?
No, because they've got like a little shack at the end, like a little shed. That was it. One shed. No. We had some. Did your friend Sam? Did he get home okay? Have you heard from him since? I mean, I always worry when people had. I'm not sure how he got home. But he said he's had to be at work at 5:30 this morning. But yeah, he got home. He got home in the end. But yeah, shout out to him. We got some great fans, you know.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're 1-0 up. We're top of the league. We're all celebrating. Was this before or after Hurst hit the bar? I can't remember.
Hurst hit the bar at 0-0. What a great! That's a great. I thought it was in. I was up. I was up. It's a goal.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. That was a great hit, wasn't it?
He played well yesterday. I thought he played well yesterday, George.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Again, we touched on it
a little bit when they made the substitutions. I've said this before. I didn't think Ladapo. I didn't think Jackson. I didn't even. You were
critical of all the subs. You were critical of all the subs, weren't you? When you well, other than the ones at half time.
I know they're tired. I understand why he's made them because they're tired and
pre-scripted. Scripted subs. Back in that world again.
I don't know if they were. I'm not sure.
Had that vibe.
We'll talk about the Ashian sub later. That was just a strange one. We'll get onto that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But we were comfortable. I think we had Chaplin had quite a good chance, didn't he, to make it 2?
Yes, he kind of hit that ball. He hit that ball into the ground and it bounced over the bar. Unfortunately,
thinking, there's going to be quite a lot of injury time here. Look, but we're still comfortable. We are still pretty comfortable in that game. And then let's talk about the goal, man.
Let's come to it. So, hopeful ball from inside their half to the edge of the box. Wolfenden's there with. Was that Alfie May who was with him, or was it the kid who'd come on as the substitute?
It's the kid who came on, I think.
Yeah. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, Christian Walton barely touched the ball all game. Barely touched the ball for bleeding 9 games. Comes running out. What he's thinking, I don't know. I don't want to be too critical of him because, he saved that. He saved 2 penalties in this run, but
it's the conditions as well play a big part in that game because the
ball was held up.
If it's a normal day, I think the ball probably just sails through and he catches that. But I think it's caught up in the wind a little bit. He's literally right on the edge of his box, isn't he, Matt?
I do wonder whether or not what his communication's like, because I know a few people who worked with him at the FA when he was in the England youth squads, and they said he was a gentle giant, barely spoke. But here he is at 6'5", 6'6". I wonder if he called for that ball. I mean, certainly Wolfen doesn't. Well, it's not helped, has he? You got someone 6'6", bearing down in behind you. Had he caught the ball, where'd he have ended up? Inside the D, outside of the box? Could have given away a free kick.
Wolfenden's headed the ball. Because he was nowhere near catching it. When you watch it back on the replay, he's not even probably got his hands on it, has he?
He was, listen, as Mike D says there, with the conditions, Walton shouldn't have come out. He should have stayed on his line.
It's a split-second decision. Right? I get that. Look, 950 minutes that was.
Yeah.
We hadn't conceded a goal. And it's, like I said earlier, it's a shame that it has to come to something like that because it happens. It's like Ian says there, isolated instance, forget the last day. He made an error. It does happen.
Yeah.
But he said, look, he saved us at Bolton, Cambridge.
Saved us at Cambridge.
If you're a goalkeeper, Matt, 9 times out of 10, if you're making a mistake, it's probably going to end up in the net. I'm
5'5". I've never been a goalkeeper in my life, unless it's in 5-a-side. But to me, it just seemed for someone who's been so good, like we say, saved us points at Bolton, saved us points at Cambridge, to then come tearing out at 1-0 with how many minutes left to go, just seemed a very, very odd decision. But I mean, one that he obviously regrets now. And, McKenna didn't play too much into it.
With dealing balls in the box, heading them away, Burgess, and it was just a rush of blood, rush of blood to the head.
Lee thinks I'm 5'4".
Wolfie's tried to head it, but he's made a bit of he was off balance. It was just a mess.
Yeah. Would you say Would you say that's the worst goal we've conceded all season, given how high the stakes are?
Yeah,
and you're
probably.
1-0 up away at there.
When you look at what happens, and they've only got 2 people in the box. It's not as though they've loaded the box and there's loads in there.
Yeah, yeah.
It has to fall to him, doesn't it? I know Colin was shouting at me at the end of the game. I told you on the phone about Alfie May in the first half. He kicked the ball away.
Should have had a yellow.
Petulance when he's slammed the ball down after I think they've given a handball against him, which it probably wasn't. And he should have had a red card. Well, if he books him for the first incident, the second doesn't happen. So I think that's pretty irrelevant, if I'm honest.
I could see why he had the up, because we got the replay obviously on the TV, and Burgess had handballed it and had given it against him, and that's why he went a bit crazy. But to slam the ball down like he did is probably it should have been a yellow, right?
It's a yellow card all day long.
Yeah.
But it had to fall to him, and it was still a good finish because he took a good touch, and then he's got an open goal, and he's going to score, isn't he, really?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you think, oh, bloody hell, you think, now we've got, 10 minutes? Can we go and
yeah. Well, Aluko, interestingly, Aluko was on the co-coms yesterday on I Follow Ipswich, and he still felt we would do it. And he made a quite interesting comment. He said they often play 4-minute matches under McKenna to see how many chances they can actually create. He said you'd be surprised at how many chances you could create in just a 4-minute spell. And he still felt confident, but I don't know. It's like you said, you really thought it was going to be 1-1, didn't you? And that's probably
these are the games. Like I said before, we haven't scored that many late winners this season.
No, Portsmouth has won. Anyone else conceded a lot? Yeah, Portsmouth we got one back, didn't we?
But I don't want to be too critical of Walton. I don't really want to be too critical because he's made an error. He will know that he's made an error. He won't need.
He don't need us telling him.
He doesn't need us to tell him what he's done wrong. And as a goalkeeper, like you say, it's a split-second decision. He's probably thought he can come and get the ball. Yeah. Could he have punched it, Matt, in hindsight? Possibly.
Maybe.
But I do think the conditions have played a big part in that goal.
Yeah.
But we just have to dust ourselves down. That's gone now, and we didn't get the winner, which unfortunately we tried to get. But we took a point, and it's another game unbeaten, and we just have to now look at the 2 home games. You can't change it on now. It is frustrating sitting here tonight thinking, we should have probably won that game because we got 1-0 up, and we hadn't played that well. But it was one of them games where you haven't played that well. You can scrape a 1-0.
Did you think it was more a display that this is what I was thinking? Hence the reason I'm asking you. It felt more like the displays we had at Bristol Rovers and Cambridge rather than what we've seen at Derby and Bolton, right?
Yeah, a little bit. And
multiple
we never really got going. The only way for me we were going to score is it's strange when you go to them grounds because you go to Derby and it looks a vast, like the playing area looks massive. Where I know they're not going to be that different because they can't be with the sizes of the pitches that you have to have anyway. Because it's
surrounds, isn't it?
Yeah, you small stands. It looks more compact. And for me, the only way we were really, I know we scored from a set piece, was get around the sides. You're trying to get through them. I can't remember. I know Matchday did. He put a great tweet out last night. I can't remember what he'll probably say what his name is. The centre half in the first half. I thought he was actually trying to exchange shirts with George Hurst.
Oh yeah, I saw Matt talking about this.
I mean, what's going on there?
Yeah.
He's trying to get his shirt off his back, and Hurst was still getting away from him. He was still getting away from him. I'm thinking, this is what you have to accept when you go to these grounds like Cheltenham. Because look, Sheffield Wednesday went there, Matt, and they only got a draw.
Yeah, 2 down. They were 2-0 down.
That's his name, Tom Bradbury. I think he got man of the match. But it is what it is, and it's not as easy as everybody thinks. Oh, look, it's only Cheltenham. You should go there and rock up, and we should beat them. Well, we showed in the last 4 times we played them. We haven't beaten them.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee Brown's asking why I'm drinking red wine on a school night. I'm on a 2-week holiday right now. I'm in the second week.
Off.
I'm off for a spa tomorrow.
I will warn you. I've got a lot of takeaways to get through tonight.
Oh, have you? Well, come on. Should we do half of them now? Should we do some now?
Let me find them on my phone. I will delve into
what was what was everyone like at full time then? Because it's not the first time we obviously conceded late equalisers.
Well, obviously you're there and you're thinking, it's a missed. You're thinking it's a missed opportunity because Sheffield Wednesday. We knew you knew Sheffield Wednesday were going to beat Accrington. I know they've been in pretty poor form, but I think if we'd done a straw poll on Saturday show, would Wednesday beat Accrington? I think everybody, Matt, would probably say yes. We've seen Accrington play. They're not very good, you know. So it's deflating, I'd say. But then when you're driving home and then you're talking about what you got coming up, you just have to. This is a game in isolation, and you have to move on quickly now. We can't dwell on it because, like you say, this time next week we'll only have 4 games to go. We can't be feeling sorry for ourselves now. We've got 2 massive home games to come now that we really need to win. And you look, Charlton, I think, if you look in the form table, I think Charlton are about 3rd or 4th, Matt, in there. But we owe these ones. We owe these massively on Saturday because we still talk about it now. We still talk about it now. We owe this lot a big fucking up thumping on Saturday.
What did we say on Saturday's show? We want blood. We owe these. I want these put to the sword.
Massively.
I quite like Charlton as a club, but I mean, look, let's not forget how they went through us in administration and took all our top players, Bentley, Holland,
and as circumstances always pop up, funny things in football. I spoke to Colin last. Who are they going to have leading the line on Saturday? He's on the back of the North Stand. He's on the back of the North Stand for the. McCauley's going to be there.
The rumour is on the Discord was he got injured, might not play.
What? Deliberately? Come on. Yeah. We all know that McCauley Bond, look, he was with us. He didn't have a great end, but I've got a lot of time for him. He had a great start. If we were sitting here when we were doing the pod, I think last sort of October time, when the season before, we were all signing him. Desperate
to sign. Yeah.
Still a little bit tin pot. As James says from the Wednesday pod, with the on the back of the North Stand, he says that's a bit tin pot because it's a 1-1 draw against Sheffield Wednesday. Why is he there when we've got some great moments in our history?
I think that one could come down if we get promoted.
Yes, it could.
That's the one that could go. Especially if Morsley's lifting silverware. While we're talking about Morsley, quick one about him. I felt he looked... Listen, this is not criticism at all. You've played a lot of games. You've led the side brilliantly. I felt he looked tired yesterday. Maybe that reflected through the side. He looked a little bit slow. He hadn't been booked since the Cambridge game at Abbey Road on 4th of Feb. Got his first yellow down.
Abbey Road?
What did you think of him yesterday?
Where's Abbey Road?
Oh, Abbey Stadium. Abbey Road? The Beatles. Abbey Stadium. Yeah.
I thought Sam played all right. I thought he played all right. They were all okay yesterday. They were all okay.
Played better in that too.
I thought Luongo, I would probably have given Luongo my man of the match.
Played well.
But they were all
Suffolk after as well.
I liked his interview. I've watched. There's one on the club side. It was one of them, Matt, where I think nobody gets more for me than probably a 7 yesterday.
I'd agree. You
know, whereas other games we've all been the majority of getting 8s and 9s, and that's when you're playing well. But we're just off it just a little bit, not massively.
It felt a game too many. Yeah, it felt a game too many after the run. But
hopefully,
it is what it is. That's the fixture list.
Yeah, but hopefully now, look, we took 4 points over Easter, same as Wednesday. We got 1 more than Plymouth. That's the way we have to look at it. Yeah. Hopefully they get a little bit of rest. They'll probably have a couple of days off this week, and then we're good to go for Saturday. You know, travelling as well. You got to travel down there. Yeah. That's another thing. You're travelling. They probably went down on Sunday, didn't they? And it does take it out of them. But I don't want to make excuses. I think you do have to give Cheltenham a little bit of credit because they've made it tough for us. They've not really got a lot to play for. You know, they're safe. They're not going to be
job done for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you see how they celebrated full time. They were well happy with a point. You know?
Is that one of our longest away trips? I mean, obviously you've got Exeter, Plymouth. I don't know what it might be if you're going up north. It's got to be a fair whack.
I think wherever Ipswich go from Ipswich is a long way in it. There's no real. We've got Peterborough coming up in a couple of weeks. That's the nice local one, and your MK. Shall I get some takeaways in? Yeah, go for it. Right, Mike D, not clinical enough. Move the ball slowly. Rob, we missed Broadhead. Mark Goddard, keep the faith. Craig Chapman, shocking refereeing display. I didn't think he was great. Matt Stannard, foul throw central. A lot of foul throws yesterday. Suffolk boys start. Kyle Edwards, Kiefer Sport. We keep going. Julian T, squeaky bum time. Stephen Digby, 6 more games. Pete ITFC, keep the faith. Martin Brightwell, win all 6. Dino, we go again. Ian Davis, I said a score draw. He always goes 2-2 and own goal, man.
He's also used
GGC
four words.
109. GGC 109. Sabutio size pitch.
Used to like Sabutio.
Great going. Chris Dow's in top 2. Bloody windy. Phil Kettridge 25 from 27. Debbie Pearce will be back. Stuart Spreadbridge 2 home games. Matt Stannard. This is what he did. He did say the ref was Alfie May's granddad. Billy Baxter. Town wind issues. Kevin Stevens. Go again, boys. Trust the process. Plymouth falling apart. Get Broadhead fit. Keep the faith. Under our control. Tasha, keep the faith. Christine Smith. Had a feeling. Edwards over harness. Never got going. Going to wire. Let's move on. Keep the belief. Mark Rattle still feeling positive. And we'll leave it there. Should we pick it up at the end, Matt? Do the rest?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. It's funny you should be talking about Plymouth there. I went over to the Plymouth Forum where it was panic central. I mean, go over there. Just put Plymouth Argyle Forum into Google. You'll find it soon enough. And they think not only were they terrible yesterday and said it was worse than the Pizza Cup final, they think they're going to get turned over massively by Exeter in the derby on Saturday.
I think Saturday, obviously, that's the lunchtime kickoff. So I think
if
you get into town Saturday, I think a lot of people will be getting down in the fan zone earlier, getting to the
pub zone. Will they have it on in the fan zone?
This, for me, I think this is Steve's in the chat there. Stevie Watson, he's a Plymouth fan. I think it's massive for Plymouth. I think that this is as much as make or break for them this Saturday. I really think that. If they lose to them, it could be wheels off time. Honestly, I'm hoping the wheels are off as a town fan. So
they've got TV. Like, I'd very rarely get into the fan zone because I get there late. But
got the screen in.
TVs in there, right?
Yeah, the screen's on there. The screen will be.
Lee Bayliss, I'm not in bed.
Look.
People think this is a headboard, Rich. I'm in my kitchen.
Yeah, you have to tell people this, don't you? Every single time.
It's my booth area. You know, like booth you get in a restaurant.
Yeah,
it's my little booth area. Not in my bed.
But
I've got more to broadcast from my bed.
But massive game, obviously. Devon Derby, Exeter, Plymouth.
Huge.
Exeter are going to be up for that. You see what they've done when they played Barnsley the other week.
Yeah.
You know, so I think this is pivotal for Plymouth. I really do. I think if Plymouth go there and win, I think they could probably go on and possibly get top 2. I think if they go there, and I think if they get turned over, Matt, and they've gone back-to-back defeats,
I think they're in trouble then.
I think they are in trouble. So
it's interesting to see their top 3 players to Sofa score. So Michael Cooper is their top player.
Injured.
Yeah, injured. Finn Azaz on loan from Aston Villa. He's only making the bench. And Morgan Whittaker went home at, when did he go? Christmas?
Yeah, he went back, didn't he?
Yeah. And of course, they've lost Mumba. They're talking about knee injury there. I don't think they've actually announced whether or not he's out for the season, but I think if you get a knee injury, you're probably struggling for the next 2 or 3.
So they've announced today, I don't know if you see the League One Manager of the Year, top 3. Well, we know it is. It's McKenna, it's Darren Moore, and it's Stephen Schumacher. And Young Player of the Year, Cameron Humphreys is in there. He's caused a little bit of a on the socials because you've got people like Cashin. There's quite a few young players. I think. I don't possibly. I think Cameron's been a bit lucky to get in there. He's in there with Barley Mumba, obviously. We'll be seeing this guy Saturday. Good player for Charlton on loan from Palace. Raksaki, good player. And then if you got League One Player of the Year, this is for the big award. No town players in there, which I'm quite surprised at.
What?
Johnson Clark Harris, Barry Bannon,
of course,
and
where's Connor?
Collins. And Aidan Collins from Bristol Rovers is in there.
Give me a break.
No Connor Chaplin. I was watching a bit from Kings of Anglia earlier, and Andy Warren was saying, listen, Leif Davis, you look at his numbers this season, and Andy was probably right, saying probably a left-back, Matt, is never going to be in the shout for a Player of the Year.
But
I would expect when the League One Team of the Year is announced, and we can probably have a chat, maybe on Sunday we could do this, maybe what our Team of the Year and everyone else. I'll be surprised if Leif Davis doesn't make the League One Team of the Year.
It's because everyone views this as a championship side, you see.
But then if you look, yesterday, I see Gab Sutton was picking his League One Team of the Year.
Yeah.
And he got the strikers. Colby Bishop was one. And I can't remember who the other one was, but Clark Harris wasn't one of them. Chaplin wasn't one of them. It's all opinion. I get that. It's all opinion. But Connor Chaplin, what, 22 goals, 19? Hopefully Saturday he'll hit 20 in the league, Matt. First time since Daryl Murphy.
So the top scorers in the divisions, top scorer, doesn't get a look in. How does that work? That's like having Haaland not in the Premier League team or whatever. I find that very odd.
I think Clark Harris has got 25 now. He's probably going to end on 30 goals. Yeah. Now, we're playing them soon, Peterborough. So
they've gone to 5th in the table.
Yeah, they're probably one of the form teams at the minute. They're hitting that form at the right time, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're still hit and miss though. I mean, bloody old Cheltenham beat them 3-0 less than a month ago.
Yeah.
Very odd. Very odd. But yeah, we go there soon. Do you want to quickly touch on the substitutes yesterday? Because you was a bit bemused by it. What did everyone else think in the comments? I mean, we lose Leaf. Harry goes over to the left and Donatian comes on and he's linking up with Jackson.
Yeah, that was literally, was that just before, was it injury time when he went off?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, literally 90th minute, I think it was. Yeah.
Look, he might have been tired, he might have been feeling something.
Maybe possibly, injured, yeah. But who knows?
I find it a bit of a bizarre substitution, if I'm honest, for 5 minutes. Look, there's got to be something with it. He's just come back, he's had a hamstring, perhaps he's feeling it a little bit and they don't want to just push him too much because look, there he goes. There's a comment there. Leaf was apparently injured, struggling. So,
okay. So maybe we'll see. Maybe Greg Lee will be back on.
McKenna said small niggles. We had to get him off. So that is fair enough.
Oh, fair enough. All right, fair enough.
I thought Jackson come on. I don't think he really made a lot of difference, and I didn't really think when Freddie come on. I see that now. If we look over the whole season. The number 9 or the main striker, Matt, hardly ever completes a 90 minutes.
Never does a 90 minutes. We'll have to look this up. Well, maybe someone could tell us in the comments. When was the last time our number 9?
I think we went over, this was earlier in the season, I think, when one of the Sunday shows. I think Freddie had only completed 3.
Yeah. And
I think Chaplin there was a few times when Connor had been taken off. I know a lot of the times when we're winning comfortably, you're going to, like on Friday when he takes the front 4 off. But sometimes I think, it's only 1-0. It's still, the game's still on a pretty much of a knife edge, Matt, when you look at it.
Do you think he's doing it to give the defence a different look? They've done 60-65 against a player. Yeah, are they now comfortable? Can they predict what he's doing? So you bring someone else in. So that's the only thing I can think of. It's the only thing I can think of.
I do agree, Matt. Matt Stanhouse has a comment there when the guy fell over in the first half and the ref gave a drop ball. Do you remember that? What was he doing? There was no foul. All of a sudden, the referee's blown his whistle. Yeah. I wonder what's going on. Matt, I'll just remember that now Matt said that. And then the ref does a drop ball. Off you go, boys. What's happening here?
Yeah.
He was poor. He's another poor official yesterday. He was the guy I said to you on the phone. He was at Rotherham, the FA Cup game he refereed.
That's right, when he gave us 2 pens. I don't think we're ever going to escape this. I think if we get to the Championship, it'd be exactly the same. People will just be.
There's no improvement. There's no improvement us going up, and you only have to look at the Premier League from the weekend when.
The only way you can negate this is when you get to the Premier League, and they've got the tech to help them make the decisions.
And they still can't get there right in the Premier League. If you look at Tottenham Brighton on Saturday, you look. Matt sent me this today, and you wanted to. I was watching the EFL highlights from. Friday, and it's the Rochdale game. I don't know if everyone's seen it.
Dropping out the league.
The guy has a shot from inside, just inside the opposition half. The goalkeeper's out, right? He's running backwards, saves the ball, brings it down just in front of the line, right? The linesman gives the goal. There's an angle in this. It's from TikTok that Matt sent me. The linesman, you see him coming running along the line. He's nowhere near in line.
Not in line.
Waving his flag. He's literally guessing that the ball's over the line. It's nowhere near over the line. Matt, the officiating is an absolute shambles.
Do you remember the Roy Carroll one against Tottenham when it was
over 3 yards? He was in the back and nearly picked it out the back of the net, didn't he?
And he was behind play and didn't give it, did he?
Pedro Mendes.
Pedro Mendes, that's it.
Was he Portuguese? About 45-yard shot, and he went scrambling back, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anyone expecting if we get promoted that the refereeing is going to be any better in the?
I don't think it'll improve.
No, shit.
I don't. I feel like when Donatian comes on, it's a bit sort of like conservative, isn't it? Because like you've brought him on, but he's not really going to give you a lot going forward, and you're still kind of thinking to yourself, could we lose this? That's the kind of vibe I get from Donatian. Do you know what I mean?
He's all right when he comes on like he did, I think, away at Derby. When you're winning,
yeah, to show it.
He gives you that defensive solidity. But if you're chasing the game and you're looking for a goal, he's probably not your man who you need inside the opposition half looking to overlap. No, he's not. No, but it is what he is. We know that, but this is what I'm saying. I don't want to be blaming JD because we didn't win the game that he brought him on for 5 minutes. We should have scored that second goal. And if you'd never get the second goal in the game, Matt, and you're always leaving yourself open to one mistake, and this is what happens. So Ipswich, typical Ipswich yesterday. We thought we got rid of that, didn't we? When we're winning 8 games on the trot. Yeah. It's only just around the corner. Here we go.
It's always around the corner. Do you think, well, the rumours, right, before the game were that Broadhead was injured, which was correct. And the one that had me lying down in a darkened room for 15 minutes was that Chaplin had done a hamstring.
I think that was just a bit of social media nonsense on Sunday evening. But the Broadhead one, I wasn't surprised. He got clattered at Derby away. I think James Collins. He got another one on against Friday. The one on Friday surprised me, Matt, because he's got clattered and he didn't go off immediately. And then he's got a ball, and he's literally one of them ones where, I don't really want it, and passed it away straight away. And I'm thinking, why are we keeping him on? We're winning the game comfortably. Take him off there, but look, we're all praying that he's going to be fit because he makes that much difference. I think he's. Like you said, Matt, he shouldn't really be playing in this league, should he?
Oh, too good. Hopefully he won't be next season. He'll be with us in the Championship. He reminds me of Johnny Williams in a way that he's so fleet of foot. He just gets fouled constantly.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of them players. I think he's always going to take a few knocks because I think he's always sort of tempting the defender. How he is. He's sort of.
What did the Sunderland fans say? That he's always injured. I think he's always injured because he's always getting taken out.
Yeah, he's got them. He's quite quick-footed, and he'll be a bit too quick for someone, and he'll take a few knocks, and we just hope that he's fit. Obviously, for these next 2 home games. Look, if he doesn't play Saturday, would I be? I think we've got enough in the tank to beat Charlton, and I think we've got enough in the tank.
Who would you're not going with Harness again? And if Broadhead doesn't, would you give Eduardo a start?
Yeah, it has to be Edwards now, but. If he has to miss these 2 home games, I don't want Broadhead to be missing. If he has to,
no, of course not. No.
I think it's imperative he's fit for Peterborough away
and the Barnsley game.
I think they're massive. I think you really do need him. But
how many points? We're saying we're going to get. We're hopeful we'll get the 6. We're demanding 6 from the 2 home games. What do we take from the 2 away games, then, Rich? What are you expecting? Because you said you didn't think we'd lose another game this season, right?
No, well, I said before Friday's game, we'd win 6 and draw 2. So we've obviously won 1 and drawn 1. So I still think we'll win the 3 home games. We should do. Charlton, Port Vale, Exeter, Matt. That should be 9
nothing
points.
To play for those.
No. So that takes you on to what, 91? And then you've still got Peterborough, Barnsley, Fleetwood. I think we'll win at Fleetwood last game of the season. If we really have to, I think we'll go there and win. They'll be on the beach.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to come down to these 2 away games, and I think we can.
Yeah.
I think we'll win 1 and we'll draw 1. But like I said earlier, I think yesterday's game at Cheltenham is probably the hardest game we will have because Peterborough need to win that game, Matt. They're not just going to park the bus. And I think Barnsley as well. Bigger pitch at Barnsley. It'll be a big crowd that night. I think we can win both of them. I don't know if we will win both of them, but I don't think we'll lose. If we take a win and a draw and we win all the other games, we end on 98 points. Surely that's enough. Wednesday can only get 99 if they win all of their games.
They won't. And neither will Plymouth. Well, probably neither will we. But look, I think like Peterborough and Bolton, they're too far back on Barnsley, aren't they? Barnsley in 4th with 78. Peterborough in 5th with 17. And Bolton in with 68. You go down to 7th with Derby at 68 and Wickham on 65. So they're kind of positioning where they're going to end up in the playoffs, aren't they? I am nervous about that game just because of the Johnson, Clark, Harris spread and the Peterborough are unpredictable. Like they stick 5 past Plymouth, but lose 3-0 at home to Cheltenham. I mean, that Cheltenham team didn't like scoring 3 goals yesterday, did they?
If you look at the game when I went to watch Peterborough play against Derby, Matt, and in the first half,
You weren't
they were
impressed.
terrible. They didn't only get over the halfway line. I think they got in Derby's box once. Second half, completely different team. But I see the stat tonight that Darren Ferguson, he's took as many points as McCann did in 7 games less. So everyone laughed when he got appointed again. 4th time. Oh, what are they doing? What's Darren doing? He doesn't know what he's doing. Well, he does know what he's doing because Darren Ferguson has come in and he's probably going to get him in the playoffs. And they're going to be, I hope we're not in the playoffs. I hope we've gone up. They're going to be a dangerous opponent, Matt, in them playoffs because they were out of it a few games ago. Yeah. Now they're coming in like a train. They're going to have that momentum behind them. And they've got goal scorer. Harris will score goals.
You look at someone like Wickham, they're only 5 points off them. They looked proper pony against us, didn't they? They didn't look a lot different to Forest Green in my book. You know, I do think I do think there's a big gulf between us, Plymouth, Sheffield Wednesday, and the rest of those teams. But like you say, Rich, the form guide goes out goes out the window, doesn't it, when you get to playoffs? Because then you just got games in isolation.
Whoever's going to finish third is going to what? Over 90 points.
You'd have thought so.
It's going to be a little bit like if you look at the game in the conference yesterday. Mad game, Notts County at Wrexham.
Watch it. You can watch the highlights.
100 points, and they're going to have to go through the playoffs.
God,
everyone's laughing at them. Wrexham sign a retired goalkeeper, Ben Foster. Well, what are they signing him for?
What a save! What a save!
Saves a penalty, wins the game.
Another free side in the stadium.
They're going to be in the Football League next year. So when you get to the playoffs, it's like it is cup tie football, then, Matt. And you've all seen what the officials are like in this league. You could have season decided by a really poor refereeing decision. So I'm hoping that Town are not in them, and we can watch them from afar. We can watch the playoffs in armchair with a cigar on.
With a cigar, the brandies. Wrexham's a funny one actually because the synergy of Ipswich is really close. American owners, a team that's outside where they should be status-wise, a team that hasn't been promoted in 20 years, a team that's been in Europe. They used to be in the Cup Winners' Cup quite a lot, Wrexham, albeit probably because playing in Welsh competitions. But I just feel like we're really aligned with them. So if they're going up this season, hopefully it's gonna be us. So what I mean, look, we'll do a show before Charlton, but what's your sort of immediate thoughts ahead of that game? We owe them one. You know, we want blood? Do we want to put them to the sword? Do we want to see another 4-0 or 5-0? Do we want to make another?
We just need a victory. Look, let's be honest. We'd all love to go to Portman Road on Saturday. Hopefully the sun will be shining. And look, 3 or 4-0 would be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, fantastic.
This stage of the season, it's all about getting them 3 points and not really. It's like yesterday's game. No one would have. If we'd have won that, if we won there yesterday, you win, you get promoted. No one's worrying about how crap you played, what the game was like, what the pitch was like at Cheltenham. We won 1-0. It doesn't matter. So Saturday, it's at home. It's a home game. It's a full house.
We know what we've got to do because the derby's over. The Devon derby's over. I
expect us. Look, if we're going into that game on the back of Plymouth not winning, look, the atmosphere will be great anyway, but it'll be not ramped up a few notches because you know that you're going to be in that top 2. But we've got no control over that. So what happens in that game. So we've just got to win the next game, Matt, and I think we will. I'm pretty confident. You know, Macaulay Bonne, I hope he comes back to play, but I think it's a tough one for him because he's obviously an Ipswich fan. He is. He's a massive fan, and if he's playing, he goes through one-on-one with Christian Walton. What's going through his head? He's probably doing. Look, he's doing his job. He's doing his job. I get that. He's probably going to want to score, but he probably wants Town to go up because obviously the link that he has, and it obviously he wanted to sign for Town. It didn't work out, but Charlton, look, they're on form. I'd expect Town to probably 2-0 Town. I'll go comfortable 2-0. Colin says a Bonne own goal.
If he plays. Dominic Dean wants me to read out a few things. Rob, do you want to get your takeaways ready, Rich, before we finish? Rob Holmes, Charlton thoughts, hide the 4th officials added time board. I don't disagree with you there. Zorak, the crazy thing with these next 6 games is the art of bouncing back is critical. Drop 2 points in 2 games in a row and you're toast. Very true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What else have we got? Dean Smith going to Leicester City. Weirdest appointment ever, Rich.
Well, that shows to me, and I agree with Chris Sutton. I know a lot of people don't like him because he's ex-Norwich, but he was saying last night on 5 Live, no plan in there at Leicester. There's no plan whatsoever. These teams keep sacking managers at this stage of the season. You might as well have stuck with Brendan Rodgers, because is Dean Smith a better manager than Brendan Rodgers?
Yeah.
No, he's not. No, he's not a better manager. So I think Leicester, Matt, are in massive trouble. I really do.
Could well be in the same division as us next season. Yeah. James Hobson, squeaky bum time for all. Can we banish any manager called Darren from the league? Is Darren Ferguson the League One Roy Hodgson, says Matt Stannard? If we get 98 points, we get automatic, says TDA Blues. Well, we've got 90. Steve, what's up?
On Saturday.
Is Steve Watson our Plymouth fan?
Yes, Steve, he's a good lad. Steve is. He likes me because he said I'm one of the sensible fans on Twitter.
He's not gone through your timeline, my friend. Stevie Watson, 95 points should be enough. I still don't. I still think that's going to be more than enough, personally. Right,
yeah,
Rich.
I think everybody thinks that teams are going to win every single game, and it's not going to work like that, Matt.
No, of course.
4-minute warning. Upstairs. 4-minute warning.
4 minute. Oh yes, and talking of govs, the governor, not as good as our governor, Ince, sacked at Reading with 5 games.
What did he say though? He said after the game on, I think it was yesterday, or it was Saturday, Alex Ferguson wouldn't get as much out of this team that I have.
Well, maybe
look, he's been a bit unlucky. They've obviously had 6 points deducted.
Yeah, they have.
And now they're in the bottom 3. 5 games, I think, to go.
Even though Rich Ince kind of loves himself.
Noel Hunt taken over until the end of the season. When we remember Noel Hunt.
Really? Yeah.
Remember Noel Hunt at Charlton?
The Hunt brothers. Yeah, of course, yes. Yeah. Even though the governor Ince loves himself a little bit, you have to give him credit because he got into football management the hard way.
Yeah.
He didn't do his Man United thing, did he? He went to Macclesfield and was booking coaches, he said, and all sorts. So he started at the bottoms. I mean, it's a fair play. We've got 3 minutes left. Let's get through these takeaways and we'll say goodnight to everybody.
Daryl Otto, Dare We Believe, Andy, Damn High Winds, Ian Cracknell, late goal again, Adrian, with one of Gov's pet hates sayings, we go again.
Annoying. But
Only thought, on to the next. Martin Smith, one brief blip. Harry Dono, get behind squad. Mr. Mark H, hold our nerve. Mark Chisnell, oh no, Walton. Steve, 1976, baby, don't worry. Glenn Parfit, windy, frustrating, missed opportunity. I think that's 4 there, Glenn, but I'll let you off. Dean Mitchell, I'll let you off as well, Dean. It's the hope that kills you. Yeah, it always is. Andy, that bloody win. Storky, wasted good chances. M. Smith, we missed Broadhead. John Fittle. Now, John is a Sheffield Wednesday fan.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for taking part. Cheltenham Odors. Mm-hmm. So he's happy with that one. Andrew Peck, automatic places on. DA Dab 657881. Conditions help Cheltenham. Emerson Fairweather, another awful goal. Richard Chandler, it's not over. Ben, the Broadhead fit. Stephen Parry must do better. Mark Underwood, harness ball form. James, last game decider. Richard Driver, grass seed needed. Vadim B24, must be ruthless. Dominic Dean, don't get disheartened. Ashton Enton, defence looks shaky. Blue and true since 82. We didn't lose. Darren King, need 5 wins. Steve Squirrel, Ipswich, automatic promotion. Anthony Miles, we go again. Thomas Legg, bring on Charlton. Andy Wilson, start another run. Don Hayes, just move on. Sharon, we're on it. Tim Sparling, why Walton, why? Tony Logan, we'll be okay. Rax Max in our hands. Rax Max again, gonna be champions. Shout out Ben Moore, was always coming. Yeah, Peter Dowling, up before coronation. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Julian Hughes in our hands. Jen Bacon, we move on. Peter Dowling, bum officially squeaking.
Agreed.
Nigel Smith, we got this. Trevor B, regained the momentum. Trouser, chicken chow mein. It's good because it's a takeaway. I like that.
Okay.
Simon Oakley, 'twas windy. And there you go. And mine, you know what mine is?
Go on.
6 cup finals.
We'll leave it like that. All the best, everybody. We'll see you probably at the end of the week at some point.
Friday night.
All the best.